That's a tough one. Everyone does have their own approach, which is funny because you think it would be like an agreed upon system, but
Right.
everyone has their own twist. It'd be one of those things. Everyone can agree this is the way to do keyword research, but we haven't even got close to that point. For me personally, I just look at a combination of a couple metrics and use that to inform whether a keyword's a good fit for me. The first is obviously it has to have some search volume, but I don't, for me over the years, that's become less and less important. And I really put more onto the second factor, which is commercial intent for me. I use a combination of cost per click. So how much are Google ads advertisers paying for that keyword? And also just how likely is that person going to become a customer of mine? So to give you an example, I was considering targeting a keyword recently, which was Aweber versus ConvertKit. I've used both. I think they're both great tools in their own ways. I have a lot of insight to add. So it seems like a good fit, gets quite a bit of search volume, and it has a high cost per click. But that person searching for that might be a good fit for me. And I might publish it down the road when I get through some better keywords. But that person is not really necessarily super interested in SEO, at least at the time. So I rather knock off a bunch of SEO keywords before I start going into that sort of thing. So that's something I also keep in mind. And then the keyword difficulty, of course, I take a look at too, which is an imperfect science because speaking of things that are different, every tool gives different keyword
Yeah.
difficulty scores, sometimes radically different. And I actually have a study that I published in the Backlinko blog where we analyzed all the tools for the keyword difficulty scores and looked at how different they were. And we found that they're extremely different, although on the whole that, they're not super off, but there are certain keywords that are really, really different. So I just tend to look at the first page, look at some of the keyword difficulty scores the tools give, and know it's an imperfect science and use that to guide me. And then other than that, it's whether I think I could create something that's really worth ranking for that keyword. So there's a lot of keywords that are out there that I look at the front page, I'm like, man, this is going to be tough. Like these are really something. And I don't know if I could really add anything to the table versus Aweber versus ConvertKit. I know I can add something to the table because I've used both tools a lot and I can bring something new versus most people that have written those articles just regurgitate what's out there. Most people that write any content online, they just have their browser tab open to Google and then they just regurgitate what's on the front page into a unique wording. So I always think of, if I find myself, the only way to write the article would be to do something like that, that also demotes a keyword for me. I really want to write about stuff that I've personally done and have personal experience with, because I found that tends to do better when it comes to just content marketing and also for SEO, because people can just tell when they land on a page and they say, oh, this is someone talking about this time they used the feature and it helped them, versus a generic article that obviously the person has never even logged into the tool.